Trigger is a automated process. Trigger is a automated process. The moment I say trigger is a automated process, we already have workflow, we already have process builder, we have approval process. When already there existing automated process are there, why are you going for a trigger? We have workflow, which is also called automated process, approval process, which is also called automated process, process builder, which is also called automated process. When we have already this process, why are you going for a trigger? First, workflow, process builder, approval process are the automated process which are fired after insert, after update. Workflows, approval process, process builder are the automated processes which are fired after insert, after update. But when you say a trigger, trigger is a automated process which is fired whenever a DML event occurs. The moment I say whenever a DML event occurs, it is insert, update, delete, undelete, merge, upset. So triggers will be fired when a DML event occurs on the object. Triggers are going to be fired when a DML event occurs on the object. The DML event can be insert, update, delete, undelete, upset, merge. Whereas when you say other automated processes like a workflow or a process builder, they will be fired only when you insert, when you update. I hope you're good. Okay. Now let me give you. So what are the triggers? Triggers are the automated process which are fired whenever any DML event occurs. Much. Okay. Now, what are trigger events? There are two types of triggers what we have. Some of the triggers are called before triggers. Some of the triggers are called after triggers. What is this before trigger? Before the data is saved to object, before the data is saved to object, whatever the operation you want to perform, that is called before events. Once the data is saved to database, whatever the operations you want to perform, they are called after trigger or after events. Before the data is saved, you want some logic to be performed, that is achieved with the before triggers. After the data is saved to database, you want to perform some logic, then I go for after triggers. So how many types of triggers we have? Two types. Before triggers, after triggers. Before the data is saved to database, any logic you want to implement, before triggers. After the data is saved to database, you want to implement any logic, after trigger. What are the events that will fire before triggers? Before insert, before update, before delete. What are the events that fire after triggers? After insert, after update, after delete, after undelete. I hope you are good. So let me conclude what we have seen. What are triggers? Triggers are the which is invoked when a DML event is fired. Triggers are the automated process which is invoked when a DML event is fired on object. There are type of DML. Now, triggers are classified as these triggers are fired. These triggers are fired before the data is these triggers are fired before the data is saved to S object. Events which fire before triggers. After the data is these are the triggers which are fired after the data is saved to S object. After triggers. These are the triggers which are fired after the data is saved to S object. Before triggers, after triggers. These are the triggers which are fired after the data is saved to S object. What are the events? After insert, after update, after delete, after undelete. So overall, what are the events we have? 7 type of events are there. Now when you say merge, what type of events are fired? Merge means what type of events are fired? Merge is going to be what? Update.
Insert.
When you say upset, upset is going to be on one object, upset is going to be either insert or on a record, either it will be insert or update. Merge means what? Either it is going to be update or it is going to be delete. Either it is going to be update or it is going to be delete. So merge is a combination of update and delete triggers. Upset is a combination of insert and update trigger. Okay. So what are these before triggers? Before the data is saved to S object. If you want any logic to be performed, then we go for before insert. After insert, after triggers, after the data is saved to database, you want any changes to be performed or any logic to be applied, I will go for after triggers. So before triggers and after triggers. Now here we need to understand a quick point. When do you call read and write operation? When do you call SOC:, DML operation? Now, while you are working, in some of the cases we say write operation. In some of the cases we say DML operation. If you understand this point, trigger will be very simple. Now let us understand. When do you call read and write? When do you call DML and SOC:? Let me make it very simple. Let us say you want to propose a girl, you wrote one letter. Okay, you wrote one letter. While you are writing letter, there are some mistakes in the letter. Some grammatical mistakes are there. Now, will you make a call to your girlfriend and say, I am writing a letter, there are some grammatical mistakes. Can I modify it or not? You get my point? Now, you want to propose a girl, you are writing your love letter. Okay, you didn't give the letter to your girlfriend before proposing. Before you are proposing your girlfriend with your letter. Okay, then you found there are some mistakes in the letter. You want to modify it. Now, will you take the permission of your girlfriend to modify this? No, why? Because the letter is not yet given to your girlfriend. Letter is not yet given to your girlfriend before proposing. Now, before proposing, if you want to make any changes on your letter, you can straight away do. You don't need any permission, right? Because that letter is not yet submitted to your girlfriend. The record is not yet saved to database. As the record is not saved to database, any change that you want to make on the record is called read and write. Before submitting the letter to your girlfriend, if you want to make any changes on the letter, you can straight away do it because the letter is not yet submitted to your girlfriend. Do you require any permission to modify this letter? Not required. Why? Still the letter is not yet given to your girlfriend. The same case when you are trying to submit the data to database, before the data is saved to database, before the new record is inserted, before the modified data is saved, before the record is deleted, if you want to make any changes, you can straight away make a change. It is called read and write. It is called as read and write. After you submitted the letter to your girlfriend, then you forgot to modify Divya as Kavya, you straight away give. Right. Now you want to modify that letter. Now what should you do? You have to make a call to your girlfriend. Boss, can you give back my letter? Some grammatical mistakes are there. I'll correct and give back. Otherwise, she will not be giving you. Why? You have already given the letter to your girlfriend. If any modification need to be done after submitting the letter to your girlfriend, you need to take a approval from her. Take that letter, make the changes. Again, if you don't give, she will ask, where is my letter? So you ask her, take the letter, make a modification, submit back again. Why? The letter is already submitted to girlfriend. If you want to make any changes, you need the permission of that girl before you make a modification. The same story happens in the database also. Once the data is saved to database, if you want to make any changes on the data which is already saved to database, you have to write a SQL query, get the data first, make the changes, perform the DML operation. So any data that is already saved to database, if you want to make any changes on the data, you are supposed to write a SQL query, get the existing data from database, make the necessary changes, perform the DML operation. Once the data is saved to database, any data which is successfully saved to database, if you want the data to be modified, you have to write a SQL query. Get the data, modify the data, and update to database. That means perform a DML operation and save to database or delete from the database or update from the database. So after the data is saved, any changes you want to make or you want to get the data from database, what is the operation we have to perform? SQL query to read the data which is in database, DML operation to make the changes on the data. Before the data is saved to database, what is the operation we need to perform? No need of any SQL query because SQL query is used to get the data which is already there in database. Now this is the record which is not yet saved. These values are not yet saved to database. When values are not yet saved to database, how can you fetch the query? How can you fetch the data using a query? So any data that is not yet saved to database, if you want to fetch the data, make any changes on the data. It is a read and write operation. Any data which is successfully saved to database, on the data, if you want to make any changes, it is SQL and DML operation. I hope you are good with this. Everyone has followed this point? Okay. Remember these 2 points. My entire operation goes on it. Now let us go with this operation. In the database, this is my database. Get this point right. If you get this point right, you'll understand the complete operation. Now, when the trigger will fire, in how many ways? We are going to start now with insert triggers. Now, in how many ways insertion of the record can be made? Tell me some of the ways through which I can insert a record. Tell me some of the ways through which we can insert the record. How can we insert a record?
By calling
DML operation, or else data loader, or else your anonymous window, or else standard edit page. Now, can you guarantee that always I will insert a single record? If I am inserting a record using a data loader, there is a possibility of insertion of 5 million records. If you are trying to insert the record using an import wizard, there is a possibility of insertion of record up to 50,000 record. I am inserting the records using a list. I cannot guarantee how many records I am taking. It can be 1 or 2 or 10. So, when you are inserting, we cannot guarantee that it will be a single record. That is the reason trigger always consider as a group of records. Trigger always consider that you are inserting a group of records. Right. Now, every trigger is a bulk trigger. Every trigger is a bulk trigger. Why? Every trigger considers that you are working on a group of record. Every trigger by default considers that you are working on a group of record. It never considers it is a single record. Now, every trigger considers that you are working on a group of record. In the group, it can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. If I write a logic for a single record, it will not be suitable for multiple records. But if I write a logic for a multiple records, it will be suitable for even a single record. That is the reason every trigger is by default bulk trigger. Bulk means considers that you are working on group of record. Considers that you are working on group of record. Considers that you are working on group of record. By default, every trigger is what trigger? Bulk trigger. You may work with 1 record, 10 record, 20 trigger. By default, it will consider as bulk. It assumes that it is a group of records. I hope you are good. So, when the trigger will be fired? Trigger will be fired when you insert the record using a data loader. Trigger will be fired when you insert the record using import wizard. Trigger will be fired when you are inserting the record using web service. Trigger will be fired when you are performing a DML operation. Trigger will be fired when you are saving the record from standard pages. So, doesn't matter from where you are inserting the record. If a record is inserted into database, trigger will be fired. If you make an attempt to insert the record into database, by default, what will happen? Trigger will be fired. So, tell me when the trigger fires. Okay, irrespective of the source, if you are making an attempt to save a record, the trigger will be by default fired. Now, it doesn't matter from which location you are trying to insert. If you are trying to make a DML operation, by default, trigger will be fired. The DML may be a data loader, import wizard, web service, anonymous window, Apex class, or any other. I hope you are good. Now let us consider. I have now I'm assuming I'm inserting a single record. It can be a single record, a group of records was. So I was inserting I entered the data, clicked on save. What is our assumption? The moment I click on save, it should go to database, save in database. Am I right? The moment I enter the data, click on save, it has to go to database, save the data. But practicality is when I click on the save, it will go to before insert trigger. The moment you click on the save, it will go to what? Before insert trigger. From the before insert trigger, it will go to database. After going to database, it is going to call after insert trigger. After insert trigger. Once the after insert trigger is done, then the record will be committed. So when the record is committed, when I insert the record, first the before insert is called, then after performing the before insert, record will be saved to database. After saving the record to database, after insert trigger will be called. Once after running the after insert trigger, data will be committed to database. So when you are trying to make an insert, first before insert trigger, save the record. What is happening here? It is saving, not committing. Saving the record, then after insert trigger, then it is going to commit. This is the flow. Okay. Now in the before insert. In the before insert, if you want to run any logic in the before insert, now I want to perform some logic. When you want to run the logic, I need some variables to store the data which is firing the trigger. Some data is firing a trigger. Why this trigger fired? If you don't insert the del record, will the trigger fires? If you don't insert a del record, will the trigger fires? No. The data is firing a trigger. So to store the data which is firing a trigger, I need some variables. I need a variable to store the data which is firing the trigger. So first variable is trigger.new. Trigger is a class, new is a static variable in the trigger. This variable is holding the data which is firing this trigger. The list of new records which you are trying to insert, they are in trigger.new. Now I told you, you may insert one record or a group of records. There is a reason trigger.new is a list concept. What is the trigger.new? Trigger.new is a list of a subject. List can hold one record also, right? List means it can have 0 records, 1 record, or a number of records. So what is this trigger.new? Trigger.new is a variable which is holding list of new records which we are trying to insert. Trigger.new is the variable which will hold list of all the new records which we are trying to insert. So in this context, which record is in trigger.new? Tell. This is the record. Now the question is this record is saved to database? In the before insert trigger, is this record is saved to database? No, right? When we are calling before insert, when are you calling the before insert? Before this record is saved to database, we are calling. Suppose in the before insert, if I write a SQL query, select name from record. Which record we are going to get, boss? Which record we are going to get? Wipro. Why? The Dell record is not yet saved. The trigger is before insert. Before the record is saved to database, I want to do this operation. Before before the record is saved to database, I want to perform this operation. That is the reason this record is not yet saved to database. If the record is not saved to database, how will you refer to this record? You are calling before insert. These records are not saved to database. If the records are not saved to database, how will you refer to this record? By using a variable. When I say variable, how long this variable will be there? Variable is a temporary. Until the operation is completed, the variable will be there. Once the operation is completed, variable will be lost. Variable will hold the data until the operation is performed. Once the operation is completed, the variable will be lost. Now, how will you refer to the new records? New records are referred using what? Trigger.new variable. Which variable? Trigger.new. Now, as the record is not saved to database, I cannot write a query to get that record. Then how will you refer to this record? We refer to this record by using a variable called trigger.new. Then how will you refer it? Can you guarantee how many records are there in trigger.new? I am not sure. That's the reason I will be taking group of records. Now I took records in the trigger.new. I told rating equal to code. Then perform saving. So when it is saved, how the data is saved now? Tell. What is the data inserted? Del 030 hot. But what is the data that is saved? Del 030 cold. So when you insert the data, before the data is actually saved to database, any logic need to be applied that I am going to write in before. Now the before trigger has executed, it has verified the logic, then record is getting saved. After record is saved, after insert trigger is fine. After the record is saved to database, after insert trigger is fine. Now, in the after insert trigger, what are the variables I have? Here also I have a variable called trigger.new. In the before insert also I have a variable called trigger.new. In the after insert also I have a variable called trigger.new. In the before insert, the record what I am trying to insert, they are in trigger.new, which is nothing but Del 030 111 hot is in trigger.new. In after insert, what will be there? The list of records which are successfully saved. The list of new records which are successfully saved. Which records are saved? Del code. That list of new records which are successfully saved, they are in trigger.new. Variable is same, but in the before insert trigger, trigger.new is holding del 030 11 and hot. In the after insert trigger, trigger.new is holding del 030 11 cold. After insert, after the record is saved, if you want to make any changes, then the new records which are inserted, they are referred with the trigger.new. I hope you are good. Now, if I write a SQL query in after insert, what will happen? Same SQL query, if I write here, what will happen? Why? Record is already saved. As the record is already saved, I have to write a SQL query, get the data. Okay. Now, if you want to make any modification on Dell, how can I do it? I have to make a daemon operation. Here it is what? Straight away write. But here I cannot do that. If I want to make any changes on Dell, what is the format I have to do? I have to say staff account, write a SQL query, get the data, take one by one record, now here if I want to modify as a code, straight away I have done. I took the records, I told a dot rating equal to code, it is already updated to database. But in the after insert trigger, if I want to make any changes, what did I do? I wrote a SQL query, I brought the records, I modified the records, then I performed a DML. Why? Data is already saved. If data is already saved, if you want to make any changes, first write a SQL query, get the data from database, then make the changes, perform DML. After query, data will come, modify DML. Before, if it is before, straight away modify. The record which I am trying to insert, if you want to make any changes on that record, we are discussing not on every record, Amma. We are discussing only on those records which we are trying to insert. The new record which I am trying to insert, on that record, if you want to make any changes in the before, straight away we can make a change. The new record which I inserted into database, on that record, if you want to make any changes in the after insert, write a query, get the data, make the changes, update it. I hope you are good. People follow this? Clear for everyone? Followed, Amma? Any query? Have you followed this concept? Yeah. Come again? Now I need to write a query where I get only Dell record. Yeah, obviously. We are only discussing about a new record, not every record. Right? Any other query, boss? People have followed this. So what is that trigger.new? Trigger.new is a variable which will hold the data temporarily, which will hold the data that is required for running this operation. Which will hold the data required for running this operation. They are called trigger context variable. With respect to this trigger, in this context, whatever the data we have, they are saved in these variables, which are called trigger context variable. With respect to insert trigger, what is the variable we got? Trigger.new. Trigger.new is what? List of records. In the trigger.new, in the before insert, new records which we are trying to insert will be there. In after insert, new records which we have already inserted will be there. I hope you are good. People are good with this? Okay. Let us take a quick example. Okay. Fine. Now, how do you write a trigger? Trigger name on this object. Example. Trigger. Example on account. Example on contact. So what was that? Trigger name on object events. It can be a single event or it can be a multiple events. Right? Okay. Here, quick examples here. Create a after insert trigger on opportunity. Create after insert trigger on opportunity. Create after insert trigger on opportunity. Right. Write a after insert after delete trigger on contact. Right. After insert after delete trigger on contact. Right. After insert after delete trigger on contact. So how you define it? Trigger example on after insert after delete. I hope you are clear with this basic format. Defining the trigger. Trigger name on object events. Now, let us take the first example. We are just working on insert triggers. So go to the developer console. So we got here Apex triggers. Name of the trigger. What was that? Trigger name on account before insert. When a new account is inserted with industry as banking, then a same rating as hot, ownership as. How you do that? First, where are the list of new records? The list of new records are referred with the trigger dot. The new records which we are trying to insert, they are referred with the trigger dot. Now, if I insert 1000 records, how many triggers will be called? Only one trigger. All the 1000 records will be in trigger dot. If I insert 1 lakh records, how many triggers will be called? Only one trigger. But 1 lakh records will be in trigger dot. From trigger dot new, we take one by one record and perform. If we are inserting 50 records, all the 50 records are stored in trigger dot. From trigger dot new, one by one record we will take, perform the logic. So how many times the trigger is invoked? Once. Okay. Then take for account A. So what was the condition? If A dot A dot industry is banking. Ownership equal to public. Do you need to make any DML here? Do you need to say update accounts? Do I need to say update accounts? Not necessary. Why? Because this record is not saved to database. As a record is not saved to database, if I make any changes on this, automatically these changes are applied on the record. Right? I hope you are good. Now, how do you test it? Go to account. We have here rating equal to what? We have ownership equal to, right, boss? I hope you are good with this example. So when you are inserting a record, first before insert trigger will fire, do this logic, then save the record. So when you are saving the record, modified values will be saved to database. I hope you are good. Now the same record I am trying to insert through DML operation. Insert accounts. Now, how many records are there in this insert? Two records are there. So, I am trying to insert the record using a Apex program. How many records are there? Two records. These two records will be in a trigger document. So, it is not, you are not sure how many records will be inserted. Using different concepts, I will be inserting the record. In different context, I may have different number of records. There is a reason trigger.new they have taken, where the trigger.new is a list of new records. So when I insert, automatically trigger will be fired. So we have capital first and ICC. We had a hard and we had a public. Whereas the del I gave industry equal to energy, no operation is performed. I hope you are good with this. People are good with these examples. Now let us take some other basic examples. You are done with this? People are good? Okay. Let us take the next requirement. Who are the users I have? Student. My requirement is I want you to create trigger on opportunity. What is the trigger on opportunity? When a new opportunity is created, created. Set a stage name as prospect, close date as 15 days from today, and a type as new customer. Let us do this the next example. Right, write this trigger, everyone. When a new opportunity is created,
Satish,
yes,
the wording is a bit confusing. When you say when a new opportunity is created, that means it is like after created or like
no, no. You
about
are
to
trying
create.
to you are trying to create.
Okay.
Now you do that. Take one by one opportunity. When a new opportunity is created, stage name should be prospect, close date should be 15 days from today, opportunity type equal to new customer. Now, any DML is required here? No DML is required because we have not yet inserted the data. So straight away we can take the record, modify them. The modified changes will be saved to database. With the modified data, new record will be created. If you make any modification, with the modified data, record will be inserted into database. I hope you are good. Okay. Let us take the next one. Done. Okay. Let us take the next one. Here we are going with I have a queues. I have few queues. Now the point here is whenever a new lead is created, the lead source is, I can say, yeah, with the industry equal to banking, corporate team should be owner of this record. Otherwise, the personal team should be the owner of the record. So I have a requirement here. Understand the requirement. First, I am trying to write it. Look at the requirement what I am giving. If industry is banking, SAN, corporate team as owner of it. This is your requirement. So what we are going to do? How do you get the name of the queue? If you want to assign the owner, now the corporate team is a queue, personal team is a queue. Now owner of the record can be a person or a queue. How do you get the ID of the queue? How do you get the ID of the queue? If I want to assign the queue as a owner, I have to get the ID of the queue. How do you get the ID of the queue? If I get the ID of the queue, I'll be able to assign. But how do you get the ID of the queue? Now all these are stored internally in an object called, what is the object? Group. Group G equal to we give this all the queues, public group, role and subordinate, IDs of a public group, ID of a queue, ID of a role, ID of a role and subordinate, everything will be stored within an object called group object. Everything will be stored within an object called group object. Now what was this? Whenever we are inserting a new lead, check whether industry is banking. If industry is banking, assign them to corporate team. Corporate team is a queue. If it is not banking, assign them to personal team, which is also a queue. Now complete this example. Then I was supposed to take list of if industry equal to banking, lot owner ID equal to. Now get the ID of the corporate team, get the ID of the personal team. Then whenever a new lead is inserted, if industry is banking, owner is corporate team, if industry is banking. Owner is personal team, if industry is other than banking. Are you getting my point? So where are the details about the queue are there? If you want to know the ID of a queue, you have to write a SQL query on the group. When you want to get the ID of a public group, you have to write a SQL query on a group object. You want to get the ID of role and subordinate, then we have to get ID of the role and subordinate public key. From where we get group. In the group object, we have ID of the public groups, queues, role and subordinate. I hope you're good. People follow this. Let us go back and see. We have industry equal to banking. List as no as assigned. So who is the owner of the record? Corporate. The owner of the record is corporate. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Right, boss? So I wrote a query. I fetched the ID of the queue, and I have assigned this ID as the owner of a record. Are you getting my point? Now, at the time of creating a record, generally, when I create the record, I become the owner. When you create the record, you become the owner. But I want to decide the owner of the record as per my business logic. Then I can use a trigger. One of the concept is already available, which is called lead assignment rule. On the lead object, it's okay. But what about on account object? Whenever I am creating a new account, based on my logic, owner should be decided. Whenever I am creating a new customer, based on my logic, owner should be created. So I can go with the trigger operation. I hope you are good. People have followed these examples, right? You can take some use cases for practice. So first look at the point. Let us assume or the queue add all the members. The queue add all the members. So members add it. Send email to all the queue members. Now, I have taken an example of assigning a queue as the owner. Now, once the owner is assigned, what I want you to do? I want you to send email to all the members of the queue that this record is assigned to you. Now, we have seen how to assign a queue as a owner. Now, what I am saying, once you assign a queue as a owner, I want you to send an email to all the members of the queue that the record was assigned to you. The record was assigned to you. How do you get the queue members? You can get the queue by writing a SQL query on a group object. But how do you get the queue members? How do you get the queue members? There is an object called group members. Write a SQL query on group member object. Write a SQL query on a group member. Write a SQL query on a group member object. Get the IDs of the people who are the members of the group. User or use this. Get the ID of the user. Get the ID of the users. Send an email. Okay. So you can try this example. Next. You can check out. Second example is check for the duplicate.
Inserted means created.
Yeah. Whenever a new lead is inserted, check for the duplicate based on email and phone number. If duplicate is found, throw error message. Try these two examples from your end. Try these two examples from your end. The first one is when a new lead is created. If the lead source is web, assign capital Q as the owner of the record. Send the notification to all the members of the queue. Second one, whenever a new lead is inserted, check for the duplicates based on the email and phone number. If duplicate lead is found, throw error message. If duplicate lead is found, throw error message. Right, boss? Okay. So that's all from my end. We'll continue in the next session.